You know, if you lose a trade in space, it doesn't count because nobody can hear your screams.
Good thing I don't lose.
Frank. We're not lost, are we?
According to the spinning thing in front of me, I have no idea.
What was that?
Sorry, I just got an EDGEFINDER alert on my Discord.
Wow, nice add-on.
I think my helmet's too tight, or maybe my head is just too big.
Oh, it looks like we've got an incoming transmission.
Remember guys, we're doing our big Black Friday sale this month. Check out the links in our bio for more information.
Roger that, Julie.
Okay, I'm starting to think we might be lost.
Maybe James could help us with directions.
I think he accidentally blasted himself out of the airlock.
Again?
Let's go get him. Man, I've been playing too much Starfield. This feels kind of real. I really don't understand why we're looking for this planet.
Frank, it's because someone told us that there's this planet out there where traders can get funded up to $200,000 in simulated trading accounts. And if you pass, you get the chance to get all your money back. It's really kind of a trader's paradise.
Traders have been searching the stars for a place like this, and it's just too good to be true.
Frank, you just gotta believe. Once you get there, they'll give you 15% off any examination with promo code A1Trading15.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, Frank, take us out of hyperspace.
Coming out of hyperspace. Now. That's FX2.
That's it. That's FX2. The legends are true. It is as good as they say.
Wow, this is incredible. There's a big giant sign that's got a promo code at the front that says A1 Trading 15 for 15% off.
We finally made it to FX2. Get your discounted access to their trading accounts right now. Link and promo code down below in the description and in the chat right now.
Can you repeat all of that once again?
No.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Thank you for being here. We are currently taking a look at pound yen. I actually have a long position on GJ right now. It's been a minute since I've traded GJ, but a setup came my way and I am long. So I picked this up actually yesterday during the Asian session. And in this stream, this is incorrect. Hold on. I didn't risk 539 pips. I actually risked 53.9. My calculation was off on that. Anyways, guys, I am long pound yen, and I picked this up yesterday during the Asian session, sent it out to members, and we are currently sitting in this trade still. So far, it started out well, but the trade is very, very early on. And in this video, in this stream, of course, we'll be talking about setups, talking about ideas, and I'll keep you guys up to date with where I'm at. So pound yen. Let me make sure I get this accurate on my trading view setup. So by the way, I closed out of my pound CAD trade that ended up closing for a profit. My trailing stop did get hit. My stop on GJ, I tightened it this morning to 186.993. So let's do this. 186. What did I say? 993? Did I say 993? 993. Yep. 186.993. That is where my stop is. So there we go. So I've tightened my risk on this trade already. So I ended up, this is something that I like to do. When I have a trade that pops in my direction, I do like to take risk off the table pretty quickly because, if this thing just rolls back over, then it kind of neglects or nullifies the idea that I had on something like pound yen. In terms of where I think pound yen can go, I like this upward trend on the 4-hour chart. You look at the daily chart, it also looks really good. The yen has been very weak. Institutional money is still very much short on the yen. By the way, guys, we just had the COT data update, which we were looking out for this morning. We went ahead and updated the script. We pulled the data in for the latest COT data. So feast your eyes kind of thing. We are looking at the latest data. And to no surprise, there is still overall a very short bias when it comes to the Japanese yen. So this was part of the reason why I actually ended up getting long pound against Japanese yen. In terms of the yen specifically, it did actually get a big boost in the COT data, which is a little bit concerning. That's actually the biggest jump in yen bullishness that I've seen in quite some time. But there are other reasons why I like the trade. And so, I think momentum still favors the bulls here. You've got pound yen as a bullish setup here overall, and we'll continue to hold that trade. Again, my stop is nearly break even, not quite break even, but my goal is to keep my risk contained here. And if price does continue to bounce off of this level of support, I'll look to trail stops further and potentially even lock it into profit. I am also still long S&P 500 for the 28th day in a row. I've been in this trade for quite some time now, and I'd like to stay into it as long as I possibly can, truly. But we seem to have broken out of this level of resistance off of the daily chart, right? So daily level of resistance broke out. We're staying above it. And honestly, I do think it might be time to trail this stop a little bit further. In fact, I think I might do that as we speak so that I can get this updated. So we broke out of this level of resistance. I really don't want to see price come under this level of broken resistance turn support. And so I do think it's probably time that I notch this stop loss up just a little bit here. So we're at 449.51 on SPY. Of course, we can go take a look at the comparable level. So there we go. We just updated that stop on SPY. And let me also just go do it on the S&P 500 so that we can mirror this. Hold on, SPX 500. And again, as long as we hold this broken level of what was resistance turn support, I'm good to keep doing that. In fact, let me just make sure I do this correctly. So what I do is to mirror my trades between SPY and SPX 500. They're representing the same thing, but the numbers are different. So it's about 1% away. So if we go take a look at SPX 500 and say 1% away is where my stop needs to be. So let's just tweak it right to this level. And that is going to be the basis. So I'm updating my trade inside of the Discord right now. So let me just do that. So again, we got GJ long. Pound CAD ended up trailing out for a profit here this morning. And on the indices side, I do need to update my position. So let's do that now. So I'm just going to copy this over. We'll paste this in. And again, entry, same point. And stop loss, what do we say it was? Stop loss is now at 4501, 4501. And let's also make sure to mirror it with my SPY position. Stop loss is what? 449.51, 449.51 on SPY. So I am just updating members inside of the group. This is a trade, like I said, it's been 28 days since I joined this trade. It's been a long position. And by the way, guys, in a few minutes, we will have Tom joining us on the show as well, which I look forward to chatting with him a little bit about trade setups. We got a couple minutes before that segment gets going, and then we will have him on here, which would be good to hear what he's got for us today. I am, like I said, I've been trading the S&P, GJ. What you'll notice is both I'm long on, both I'm kind of risk on oriented still, right? I think that for the remainder of the year, until something drastic changes, I am generally just going to be more on the risk on side of things, betting that, again, things like the yen, which are risk off currencies, to go down. And meanwhile, things like things like indices, gold, etc., I think have potential to squeeze higher. So, okay, I'm just updating this for those of you guys who are in the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, you're getting a sneak peek today, but I am just updating my position there for you. So SPY, S&P 500, I've just trailed stops further into profit today. I'd like to see this thing continue, and if it doesn't, then it's time to move on. It's been 28 days since I initially took this trade, and I just trailed that inside of the group. So if you're in the group, just head over to the indices trade section. You can see the update on my S&P 500 position. By the way, just a heads up, we are ending. It is our last call. We're getting very, very close to the end of our Black Friday sale, which gets you 45% off any of our services. If you're looking to join the Discord, if you're looking to join the EDGEFINDER, come into the new year with us. We are planning on some big stuff going into 2024. If you're not already in there, join the Discord by messaging us right here. If you'd like to sign up for our VIP service, it is available there, and you can get some information on by messaging us. We'll give you those extra discounted prices if you go for the link that's in the chat right there. Okay, so we have a lot to do here today. I did want to take a minute to take a closer look at the COT data that did just come out. I've trailed stops, pound yen, I've trailed stops. So we are maintenance is done on the trades, which is usually on the streams what I'm going to do first if I have something to change. NASDAQ looks pretty good. Look at this. NAS 1.64% in terms of bullishness. Silver also looking good. And where's our gold, guys? Where's the gold at? Well, it's right here. And gold actually got a nice bullish bid. This is what we were talking about on stream yesterday. I was looking for that final kind of confirmation on the gold side of things. And that gets us, let's refresh the algorithm here to get the scoring. And boom, there we go. We got COT. Wait a second. Hold on. -3 for gold. Shouldn't it be more positive than that? Let me go check what's going on that front. Something's up on that. So COT data, well, I guess, so the USD still very overall pretty bullish. Recent change, gold did get a nice uptick, but so did USD. So I see what's going on. It's basically saying, yes, COT was pretty good for gold, but COT was also decent for dollar and still seems to be. So that's where you can kind of understand the scoring here on the EDGEFINDER. If you go into, you can read the whole notes if you'd like to on the EDGEFINDER, but the scoring overall for COT data is not super favorable for gold, but still in the +4 category, which is a pretty impressive, confluence factor there. Trend is to the upside. Economic numbers, the economy kind of slowing a little bit, inflation really cooling. Remember that a lot of people think high inflation, gold's going to run. The truth is actually gold typically does well in a semi-disinflationary environment where, the expectations that perhaps the Fed turns on the money printer again, that pivot is usually a time where gold typically does very, very well. Interest rates are also kind of expected to go down. So we're seeing some bullishness there, and interest rates specifically, I'm talking about like the 10-year, for example. Labor statistics showing some cooling. All of those things give a pretty favorable environment when taking a look at gold. So for my gold friends, let's get the gold train going in the house. I am looking for buys on this thing. Now, of course, I am late to the train here. I can't join the gold train when it's already left the station, right? We got to wait for the next stop. And the next stop, in my opinion, would be if we do get, I think I might have missed this, right? I missed this little break and retest here. But if it does give me that double back, if it pulls back into support, there may be another chance to get involved on the gold side of things. So yeah, we're watching it closely. COT data looking crisp. Yes, it is. We've got the data in here. We've made some improvements recently to the COT page. I think that they look pretty good. And reminder, our sale is ending, guys. If you're somebody who's been looking to get access to the EDGEFINDER, it is currently 45% off, and that sale is ending. So if you've not gotten your copy of the EDGEFINDER, the window to do so for the super discounted rates is ending for quite some time. I don't even know the next time we're going to do a sale that big. So get it, take it or leave it. But that is your chance to get the EDGEFINDER for nearly half off right now if you message us with this link right here. Sale is ending. So yes, take advantage, and we'll continue to watch this, guys. We're gonna have Tom come join us here on the show. He's been prepping and ready to help us take on the markets here today. So we'll talk some currency pairs, we'll talk some gold with him as well. So in just a second, we'll bring Tom and Frank onto the show. But real quick, we'll just thank our sponsors here, and then we'll come back to Frank and Tom on the show. Check it out. Frank, are you really trading right now? We are literally traveling through space.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to 8cap, I can trade at any time and anywhere, even in space. And I get a free EDGEFINDER with it too.
That's pretty cool, but honestly, there are so many other brokers that I think are better.
That's it.
I'm ejecting you.
All right, Frank, let me back in. Come on. I'll sign up for 8cap, I promise.
Don't get lost in space. Trade with 8cap. If you'd like more information about how you can get a free EDGEFINDER, click the link that's in the chat or description to speak with one of our representatives and sign up with 8cap. There's some great free perks available. Check it out down below.
Frank!
All right, guys, we are back with Tom and Frank. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's
Hi,
it going?
Nick. Hi, Frank.
Good to have you guys back on the show. And Tom, I'll go to you first. What's on Tom's watch list today? Are you trading any dollar pairs, yen pairs? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I am in a US dollar yen short trade, and just yen pairs in general are at a very interesting level. So, most of them are pound yen, euro yen, Swiss franc yen, but US dollar yen is the trade I wanted to take. But if we just look at euro yen, for example, so, we're seeing price is clearly in an uptrend, all right, at this point. But we've seen, quite a bearish candle here. So, is this potentially the start of lower highs? We don't know, but if we get some follow through, it could be. But if we just look at this bearish candle and we look at the H4, we can see the H4 has clearly broken down. Yeah, and this is true for a lot of the yen pairs. Okay, so if we look at euro yen, we're currently here. We're in a H4 downtrend. And more importantly as well, guys, we're at a really interesting level. If I put a zone through here, yeah, you can see clearly that is a support and resistance zone, a resistance zone in this case. Yeah, and you can see price reacted many times at this level. So if we start getting a bearish reaction in here, yeah, I think we have some room to the downside, at least down to here, maybe down to here. But if we break through this level, then, we carry on with that day trend. So, it's really at a pivotal level with euro yen, pound yen, Swiss franc yen. The trade I did take was US dollar yen, because this is in a downtrend, and we're all seeing this US dollar weakness. All right, and just to point out on US dollar yen, we was at this weekly resistance level, and we was thinking, are we coming out of it? Will it start to break down? But then we saw, we've had quite a bullish weekly candle. So this is at a real interesting level. We've got sellers in here, and potential buyers here. But on the day chart, guys, clearly breaking down. That's clearly in a downtrend. Price was sort of very untidy up here, but now we're seeing this. We're clearly in a downtrend with a view to taking it lower. And we basically entered on a H4 resistance level, guys. So again, if we follow H4 on most of the yen pairs, it is breaking down. And we just found ourselves back at these, last lows in here. And I took a trade in here earlier on today. My first target is at this 148 level, and then with a view to taking this lower. So, real interesting levels with the yen pairs, and we'll see how this plays out.
Okay, fair enough. And going off yen pairs, I think yesterday when Frank and I were speaking with Ivan, Ivan had a similar idea on dollar yen. I think he's also short dollar yen. So it's kind of interesting to see that from our perspective, Tom. On the show, obviously, we bring on talent from all over the world. And so what's really cool is a lot of times what I find is that all these veteran traders, we typically are spotting not exactly the same trades. We each have our like unique ways of approaching and taking trades and stuff. But it's cool to see. Like yesterday, we had Ivan. He came on. He gave his breakdown. He pointed to dollar yen weakness. Here you are pointing out dollar yen weakness. I know Frank liked dollar yen on the short side. I think that the dollar story has changed on the fundamental side, and you have this nice little potential down move on dollar yen, especially at that 150 level. When you talk UJ, as you pointed out, from a resistance level on the higher time frames, that 150 kind of secular level where we've seen several times, or in the last major time we were there, we saw a huge pushback from the Bank of Japan, and also people thought the Fed was going to be done with rate hikes sooner than they were. But both of those things caused the dollar yen to reject heavily. And if you catch another one of those moves, Tom, I mean, the downside for dollar yen, could very quickly be upwards of 1,000 pips. It just,
Yeah.
of course, you take it one step at a time. But as traders, Frank made a point recently, you got to be careful with your super long-term predictions if you're trying to really trade. But what do you think, Frank? What charts are you watching today? Any yen pairs? Or I know you were talking a lot about gold. What do you think about that breakout?
That's funny. We're talking about yen pairs. I just wrote a newsletter on all of them because we got Euro, Canada, and New Zealand coming out with big news. So trading that against the yen, I think, is going to be a potential winner here. But on a technical scale, so I've been attempting to buy Euro yen and taking small losses. So I think I'm going to keep trying, just depending on how this reacts to this wedge pattern that's forming right here. Rejection from the lows looks strong. I'm honestly kind of looking for at least the completion to the top of this and hoping for a breakout higher. So what we need here is, on a technical scale, everything looks like it wants to go higher, but I think we're just going to have to wait for the CPI numbers tomorrow. And it's coming in mixed. German is expected to drop, I believe. Yeah. German CPI is supposed to come down. Spanish CPI is supposed to go up. So mixed. But I think what we need to see is ideally a beat in both of them, just higher than expected CPI. But other than that, I'm not really sure, because I missed the move on gold. I never took a trade because I was looking at a deep pullback, and that just never happened. So gold took off.
I missed it too, Frank. Don't worry about it. I've been wanting that trade for a minute now, and I was a little bit surprised though. The COT reading on the EDGEFINDER. Oh, look at that move! It's exploding in front of our eyes now. Tom, I got to get your technical breakdown on gold in just a second, so I'm coming to you. But in terms of gold, Frank, I was looking at the COT data, and it's like you've got this increase overall, but despite that, it's not getting a favorable score. We did get that latest COT in there, by the way. We got the update going. The USD is still just hanging in there in terms of just a net very bullish asset, which I wonder, I was looking to see if the dollar would get some change there, but again, hanging in there, not seeing a big sell-off in COT. So we're not getting a super favorable gold score this week, but despite that, gold still running really hot. And I think, from a fundamental perspective, despite COT, I still like it long, and I think that it has room to run. So Tom, I want to go to you back on gold. Like I said, I would. What do you think about gold from a technical analysis perspective? Is there room for this to keep running, or is it due for a pullback? What do you think?
So this was a trade idea that we looked at this morning, and we were seeing a daily break of a daily high here, a weekly high even here, and we saw this bullish candle, and then we're interested, and this has room to move into. Okay, so if you zoom out, excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my mouse today. I've got man flu as well. Everything's going wrong today, but we still got a bit of room to move into up to this grey zone. I have quite a conservative target here, really, but it could go more into this grey zone, and test some of these levels. So gold has room to move into, which is what we like. And if we just quickly compare that with silver, silver's move is hitting resistance already. Yeah, so silver's not a trade idea for me because we're already hitting this level. Okay, but gold definitely was this morning. If we go back to gold now, and it's got room to move into. Like, the problem is just that move. I mean, this is the H4 chart, and we were looking for break. Let's drop down to the H1. Actually, we were looking for breaks of this level. Yeah, I put these grey zones in earlier on, and we were looking for a break. But when you get a break like this, it's difficult to trade for me because if you catch price here, you catch price here. Maybe you're a H4 trader or a H1, wherever you're catching price, you're stopped. You put your stop below here. You put your stop below here. It becomes harder to trade. I'm a retrace trader, not a breakout trader. I will trade breakouts now and again, but this is clearly a breakout trade. Yeah. So if I miss it, I miss it, no problem. But what I will wait for is as a retrace back to these lows. If we start, get a bullish reaction in here, then it's just trading a retrace is far easier to trade from a risk to reward point of view, from how large your stop loss needs to be, the room you potentially have to move into. Everything's easier, and this is what I'm waiting for with gold. I've missed this initial move. Would I have got into that anyway? Probably not. I would have still waited for a retrace, and I'm still waiting for a retrace. So still want to buy gold. Nothing's changed. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity and setup.
I like that. I
think get it.
Go ahead, Frank.
Sorry, if you go to the 30-minute time frame, looking at what's going on there. Ignore all those lines. That's just some mess that I need to remove. But so if we get a close like this or somewhere similar, even if it comes back to break even, this looks like a little bit of exhaustion. So if it closes like this, we might be able to see some, that test you want back here at the 2017 or 2010 or 2015 level. So the runs on gold are very harsh, and then they come back slowly and then they take off again. So maybe you'll see that test here.
Yeah, and to your point there, Frank, you also you have that the green and red zone, which is a top secret thing we're working on here at A1. But tell us a little bit about it. It's not actually a secret, but we're working on a volume indicator. Those big green candles, obviously pretty meaningful, decisive moves. Give us the bird's eye view of what that green and red represents.
So the green and red candles, or the bars around the candles, represent volume spikes in that time frame. So we've seen 3 green bars in a row, suggesting that there's a lot of buying to the upside in this particular area. But I think if you really want to look at it from a longer term standpoint, if you pull up the daily chart and you continue to see, sparse buying here and there without any selling, and then another couple candles of buying, that suggests that, these are real market moves. It's not just some blip and retail or whatever. This is big money, or it's both big and retail money going into this. So they're not necessarily like saying, if you see a spike here, it's not really telling you anything. But when you look at these bars that are green or red, they suggest when there's a large amount of money going to the upside or downside. So this helps you tell if, the trend is kind of promising or not. So if you see a giant spike with no volume, that doesn't really tell you much. But if you see big spikes or longer term trends to the upside with green bars, that's telling you, yeah, there's a lot of buying going on. So this to me looks like in the past month or two that there's just been a lot of buying. And until that changes, I think gold is probably going to keep going higher. And it's already broken that head and shoulders pattern. It's now has that as support here at 2010. So I think gold is going to keep moving higher. We just have to find the right time.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for that breakdown, Frank. And again, we're working on some trading view tools at A1. There's no secret. We're still in R&D mode and we're still doing a lot of programming behind the scenes. But if you guys would like updates on that, if Chandler, if you don't mind dropping the Telegram link for us, if you guys would like to keep up, we can also find it there. We also have news here in 30 seconds, so let me not miss it. I'm pretty good at missing the news. So we've got consumer confidence coming in 20 seconds or so. And then, Tom, I'm going to come to you with the euro dollar and pound dollar in reference to what we just talked about with the dollar moves. We've got gold breaking out. I'm sure a lot of traders here are curious about what's going on with the pound, but we got breaking news. So breaking news coming in now. All right, I'm waiting for the number here. Consumer confidence could potentially be market moving. Of course, the consumer a big component. There it is, 102 coming in compared to 101. So a slight beat there in terms of consumer confidence. Doesn't seem to be moving the market too much. Look at the dollar index here. Dollar index still just trending lower. Cannot seem to catch a bid is the dollar. And speaking of that, again, not a huge reaction in terms of volatility spike, but some things are moving anyway. So, Tom, what do you think about all this move on euro dollar? I know it's similar, right, to gold, right? It's doing a lot of the same price action. Euro, pound. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, okay. But let's start with pound US dollar, as that is my mother country, currency. Sure. And we'll start with the weekly chart. So, this US dollar weakness has just, exploded. We had literally weeks of US dollar weakness, US dollar strength, and now we're seeing, this US dollar weakness come through. And pound US dollar in particular is at a very interesting weekly level. Yeah, you can see where price has reacted before at this level. So I'm looking at this level not to say that, US dollar weakness is over, but with moves like this, you are, due a retrace. Yeah, you're due some kind of retrace. It's such a bullish move. And, the more bullish the move, it's like an elastic band. Normally, the bigger the retrace. So, could this be an area where we see a retrace with US dollar strength? So we're at an interesting level here. If we look at the day chart, things are very overbought. Even if I wanted to buy pound US dollar, I'm not going to buy it up here. Yeah, firstly, we're at a resistance level and there's no value. Yeah, if you wanted to buy pound US dollar, there's value here. There's value here on the retrace, but up here, there's none. So, how I trade, I need to be with the daily trend. Okay. And when we're in a daily trend, at a weekly resistance level, I pretty much know I won't have a trade for a while. Yeah, because I need really daily structure to break down for me to take any sells from this weekly level. And as you know, a daily structure break can take days, weeks. So, this is if I'm in a daily uptrend at a resistance level, I know I won't have a trade for a while. And if I'm in a daily downtrend at a weekly support level, again, I won't have a trade for a while. And it's the same with pound US dollar. But that's why, we look at 28 currency pairs, indices, commodities. to
That
find
way
a
you have
trade.
something to pay attention to. I like that point. And also, I'm the same way, Tom. If something is trending up and it's at a resistance level, there's no trade there for me, right? So
Yeah.
similar to your concept with the pound, it's like I'd like this thing to the upside, but I'm a pullback trader similar to yourself. And so for me, it's like, okay, if 1.2560 comes into play, shoot me a message and I'll take a look at the pound. But until then, there's nothing to do on this one. However, while we're on the topic of pound, I am long pound yen. I've got to stop just below this low here. I was able to catch this last night during the Asian session. Took this one shortly before I went to bed. I saw it on my saw it on the edge finder. It was a setup. I pulled it up on the chart. It was pulling right back to support. So I picked it up. So far looking pretty good. I like this one to the upside. I think that if you're looking at this thing from a trend line perspective, we got to see if this thing can break resistance here. But if it does break, I'm looking at trail stops further into profit. But currently, nice little push there. I did have a pound CAD trade as well that ended up trailing out. So I had a pound CAD trade, which there it goes. I was stopped out, trailed out. And my initial entry has been going for a little while. So an interesting time for sure. Tom, you mentioned that dollar had been going up for weeks. That was like the risk off environment that we were in. And now it seems to be the flip side. That dollar downtrend has cued a risk on environment where things like stocks are up, pound pairs are up. And it's honestly, it's a nice change of pace because we had been in a risk off environment for like the last few years have been mostly risk off, despite like a couple stocks doing really well in the tech sector. But regardless, it's been an interesting time. Tom, Frank, I want to thank you both for coming on the show. I feel like we went through a good number of charts here together. As always, I enjoy getting the combination of both fundamentalists and technicians in the commentary here. So Tom, you have your own channel. Before we let you go, let me just remind everybody, if you do not already have Tom on your YouTube subscriptions list, his link to his channel is in the chat right now. We just dropped it there for you. Make sure to go over to Simply Forex. If you enjoyed his commentary, if you'd like to keep up with him, he's got streams, videos, content, and plenty of other stuff. Just head over to his channel, find out some information there. Tom, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Cheers, Nick. Cheers, Frank. See you next week.
Cheers, Tom.
See you, Tom. All right, and Frank, thanks to yourself as well. I'm curious. We'll have to do some closer look at that COT data here. I'm sure that on the Telegram and newsletters, we'll be keeping people up to date. But we'll have you back next time to go over it in more detail, I'm sure. So see you next time.
See you.
All right, guys. And speaking of COT data, I just want to make kind of a last call. I know many of you have probably already gotten access to our Black Friday sale, but if you have not, let me just remind you that the EDGEFINDER and our VIP signals are currently 45% off. It is our biggest discount month of the entire year. And this sale is going away in just a few days, and then it will not be available for the foreseeable future. We don't have any plans to do any sort of discount like this well into the new year. So if you're somebody who's been thinking about getting a copy of the EDGEFINDER, if you've been thinking about getting our signals or joining the Discord channel, it is currently 45% off. The way you get access to that discount, here you go. Click the link that's in the chat right now. It's right below my head. And if you go to that link, this is what's going to happen. It'll take you to our direct message center. So we have a few people on staff here at A1 who are trained with our software tools to answer any questions you have, to walk you through it, and to get you that discount. So if you click that link, click Black Friday, 45% off. If you want the smart alerts, if you already have the EDGEFINDER, you can get 45% off the new smart alerts feature. Or if you don't have either, you can message us for either the EDGEFINDER or VIP for a huge savings, 45% off. It saves you hundreds of dollars off of our premium products that we've been building for the last year and a half. And again, that sale is ending very, very soon. So take advantage if you've been somebody who's been thinking about it. Don't miss it, because every year, I'm telling you, every year we have people who are like December 2nd, December 3rd. They're like, hey, I missed you guys' big sale. Like, can I still get it? And we're like, you missed the sale. You gotta be there for the sale. So click the link, get your products at the best price of the year. And with that said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to the show. I definitely had a good time. I hope you guys did as well, as we do every day on the show. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you back next time. See you guys.
Thanks again for flying with us on the A1 Trader. Our goal at A1 Trading is to give you the latest in market news through our daily videos and articles. Take advantage of our huge Black Friday sale, 45% off, happening all month on our best products we have to offer. A1 Trader, prepare for the return home.